Hey everyone, if you're a senior in America right now who's been staring at that same Social Security deposit every month while the price of eggs, milk, insulin, and the electric bill keeps marching upward like it's in a parade you were never invited to, this video is going to feel like someone finally turned the lights on in a room you've been stumbling around in the dark. If you're the 79-year-old widow in Youngstown who hasn't bought a new coat since 2018 because the old one still zips, the disabled factory worker in Alabama who cuts his blood pressure pills in half to make the bottle last longer, or the 67-year-old Vietnam vet in Oregon who eats oatmeal for dinner 4 nights a week so the grandkids can have meat when they visit, this one's for you. Because Washington just dropped 3 numbers that are about to slam into roughly 70 million Social Security and SSDI checks starting January 2026. And 2 of those numbers are going to take back almost everything the first one pretends to give you. Welcome to Truth Lens, the channel that refuses to let politicians and cable news bury the truth under a mountain of spin, especially when that truth decides whether millions of American seniors have to choose between filling a prescription and filling the gas tank. We are the no filter, no agenda home for 500,000 fixed income warriors who are sick of being told inflation is cooling while their grocery cart costs the same as a car payment used to. If you're tired of feeling invisible, tired of the shell game with your benefits, and ready to see exactly what's happening to your money before it disappears, hit that subscribe button right now, ring the bell so you never miss an update, and let's turn this channel into the loudest senior voice in the country. Here are the 3 numbers the government just stamped official for 2026: 2.8%, 9.7%, and 10.1%. The first one, the 2.8%, is your Social Security cost of living adjustment, the raise you're supposed to get because prices went up on an average retirement benefit of $1,927 a month. That works out to about $54 extra. SSDI folks averaging $1,539 a month will see roughly $43 more. SSI singles jump from $943 to $970. That's $27. Couples go from $1,415 to $1,456 or $41. Sounds decent on paper, right? A little breathing room, maybe finally splurge on the name brand peanut butter instead of the watery store stuff. But then comes the second number, the 9.7% Medicare Part B premium increase. The standard premium is rocketing from $185 a month in 2025 all the way to $202.90 in 2026. That's an extra $17.90 a month every single month, automatically yanked out of your Social Security check before you ever see it. Do that math real quick. They hand you $54 with a smile and then turn around and snatch back $17.90 before you can even blink. Your raise just shrank to $36.10 for the average retiree. And if you're on the lower end, say $1,100 a month, your gross COLA is only $30.80. Medicare eats almost $18 of it, leaving you with $12.80, $12.80. That's 2 gallons of milk and half a loaf of bread, maybe. Then, just to make sure you feel every ounce of the squeeze, they hit you with the third number, a 10.1% increase in the Medicare Part B deductible. That jumps from $257 in 2025 to $283 in 2026, an extra $26 you have to pay out of pocket before Medicare covers a single doctor visit, lab test, or outpatient procedure. So now we've got a 2.8% raise, while the 2 biggest mandatory healthcare costs for seniors are soaring at 9.7% and 10.1%. That's not a cost of living adjustment. That's a cost of living subtraction dressed up in bureaucratic clothing. And the cruelest part, The lower your benefit, the bigger bite these increases take. Someone pulling $3,000 a month might still pocket a decent chunk of their COLA, but the widow on $950, the disabled vet on $1,200, the lifelong waitress on $1,100, they're left with pocket change while their medicine, doctor bills, and deductible all cost dramatically more expensive. Once again, the seniors who spent decades paying into the system who need help the most are the ones who get help the least. This isn't random bad luck. It's the same tire pattern we've watched for years. They calculate your COLA using the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners, a basket that barely reflects what seniors actually spend money on. Think skyrocketing prescription drugs, home health aids, and hearing aids that cost more than a used car. Meanwhile, Medicare premiums and deductibles are calculated on totally separate actuarial tables that factor in projected doctor visits, new technology, and drug prices that never come down even when inflation cools. The result is a rigged game where your raise is always smaller than the mandatory bills that follow at home. Prices don't deflate, they just stop inflating as fast. Yet your buying power keeps shrinking because eggs are still 60% higher than 5 years ago. Ground beef is up 40%, and a tube prescription cream that was $40 with GoodHRX is now $189. The Senior Citizens League has been screaming this from the rooftops. The current COLA formula has lost seniors more than $5,000 in purchasing power over the last 2 decades alone, and this 2.8% does nothing to close that gap. Picture the real people behind these percentages. There's the 74-year-old retired nurse in Pennsylvania who worked 12-hour shifts her whole life and now chooses generic canned soup over fresh vegetables because produce rotted in her fridge one too many times when money got tight. There's the 68-year-old former truck driver in Mississippi with COPD who hasn't seen his pulmonologist in 14 months because the Part B deductible reset in January, and he's still trying to save up the $283. There's the 82-year-old great-grandmother in Nevada who sleeps in her coat some nights because the $17.90 a month is the exact difference between 68 degrees and 60 degrees on the thermostat. These aren't statistics. These are proud Americans who raised families, paid taxes, voted in every election, and now get told a 2.8% raise is generous while the fine print quietly takes it away. 70 million checks are affected. Retirement benefits, survivor benefits, SSDI, SSI, railroad retirement, disabled veterans drawing both VA and Social Security. Every single one of them watching that January deposit get smaller in real life, even when the headline number looks bigger. And the worst part is how quiet it all feels. No emergency town halls, no primetime address, just a press release on a Friday afternoon while most folks are trying to figure out how to stretch Thanksgiving leftovers. But here's the raw truth. This isn't just the way it is. This is the direct result of decades of choices to underfund the Social Security Trust Fund, choices to let drug companies charge Americans 10 times what they charge Canadians, choices to keep the COLA formula broken while Medicare costs explode. The same seniors who built the interstate highways, fought in Korea and Vietnam, taught generations of kids to read, and kept factories humming are now being told $17.90 at a time into deeper poverty, deeper isolation, deeper despair. Truth Lens is going to keep shining a floodlight on every single digit of this shell game. We'll be here when the January statements drop and the comments explode with shock. We'll be here tracking every proposed fix, every backroom deal, every vote and betrayal that affects your check. Drop in the comments right now. Tell me if your COLA is getting swallowed whole by Medicare. Tell me if $12.80 a month changes anything in your house. Tell me where you're watching from, because I read every single one. Share this video with your VFW hall, the senior center, your church group, the neighbor who still gets paper statements and has no idea what's coming. Like this, if you're angry, subscribe. If you're ready to fight back with facts, turn on notifications, because the next move in this chess game is already being planned in Washington. We're in this together, and your voice matters more than they want you to believe. I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong.